Todd Grisham, the man who knows everything about all the martial arts, I presume, Todd. I think so. It's a good introduction, but for now, you are the man who is going to call the upcoming El Paso game, how I call it, or Munguia versus Kamil Szeremeta. But this is for DAZN, of course. Todd Grisham for DAZN. First of all, my question: let's compare. Did you have more expectations when Zulensky was announced? There you have now he's replaced by his countryman Kamil Szeremeta.
Yes, I thought Zulensky had a better chance at winning because I think he has a little bit more power. His fight against Gabe Rosado, he showed that. He showed he had a ton of heart as well. And I think Munguia, he has an iron chin. He can take a beating. You're going to be able to hit him. I'm just not sure that his current opponent has the same pop that he did.
Yeah, looking at just the pure numbers for Kamil Szeremeta, it's really nothing that the Jaime Munguia has to be afraid of. But there is always a question: were you calling? Sorry for asking, but were you calling the Szeremeta versus Triple G?
I did call that fight.
Okay, so you know Kamil Szeremeta very, very well from this fight. If you can bring any positives from this fight versus Triple G, and then, because this is about you, this is not me talking, if you can compare, I know there are maybe not comparable 15 years of difference between what Kamil Szeremeta has to expect fighting Jaime Munguia, and if fighting Triple G prepare him for Munguia is going to bring to the ring.
Well, Munguia has a lot of power. Obviously, Triple G had a lot of power. I think Szeremeta can be crafty, and Munguia wants to get in there and knock your head off. He doesn't want to stand a distance and have a boxing contest. Triple G will box with you all night. You know, he likes to finish you, but he's a great boxer. So I think Szeremeta, if he can keep it a boxing contest, which is going to be hard to do, he's got a shot, especially if Munguia has the frame of mind that, listen, I want to show Triple G that I can knock this guy out faster than he can. And he comes out like a bull in a china shop and goes after Szeremeta in the first 2 or 3 rounds and tries to blast him out of there. And Szeremeta keeps getting up like he did against Triple G, or doesn't even get knocked down in the first place. Maybe Munguia overplays his hand a little bit, gets a little fatigued, a little frustrated, sort of like he did when he fought Hogan down in Mexico, a fight I also got a chance to call. I thought Munguia lost that fight to Hogan.
Agreed.
So if he can stick to that game plan and outbox Munguia, it'll be hard, but he's got a shot. Not to mention Szeremeta took this fight, as you know, on just a couple weeks' notice. So who knows what kind of shape he's in. All the numbers don't look good for Szeremeta. Nothing looks good for him. But there's a path to victory if all the stars align, at least in my opinion.
Before, in a couple of hours, you're going to meet both of them at the fighters meeting. Just a tip from me for you. Looks like Kamil Szeremeta was prepared for this fight very good, because he spent couple of weeks training with the European champion in Italy. So he was in a full training camp. There's a fight in Italy for European Championship. He was there, so he was sparring a lot. Then he came to Poland, and he got a couple of really good ones, Polish fighters to prepare him for him. One of them supposed to fight on the card, Fyodor Cherkashin, but unfortunately he will not be fighting there. So looks like from the preparation side, it's not like Szeremeta was on vacation and he got the call Zulensky doesn't want to fight for the Zulensky's reason, which was I am not prepared, right? So it looks like Szeremeta will be prepared for this fight. It's not like he was doing nothing. And I agree with you 100% that this fight, and the reason why Szeremeta got this fight is absolutely that. This is I know it makes no sense to compare how I am doing versus, excuse me, the same guy. So assuming the Szeremeta is in full fighting mood, it goes the distance, or you don't think so?
I don't think so. I think Munguia is going to get to him. And it's almost like, at the Tour de France, it's like a time trial. That's how Munguia is going to view it. Like, hey, Triple G did it in round 7. I've got to get faster than round 7. So that's going to be his mentality if he fights like he always does. Now, he may come out and decide he wants to work on his boxing to prepare better for Triple G. I highly doubt it. That's not the kind of fighter he is. But I think in his mind and all his fans' mind, if he does not knock this guy out, it's almost the equivalent of a loss.
I absolutely agree. For him, winning on points is it's unthinkable. I just checked the odds. Looks like Kamil Szeremeta is 16 to 1 underdog, so $1,000 on Kamil Szeremeta buys you $16,000 whatever watch or whatever you want to buy for $16,000. What is the influence of Eric Morales on Jaime Munguia? Because you are very close to the whole this situation. Did he change him a lot? Is he more chaotic?
Well, it's
less chaotic. Excuse me.
It's interesting because the one thing you think about, at least before the last couple of fights, before Morales joined the team, with Munguia was great offensive fighter, very strong brawler. His defense was horrendous. You know, his getting his head snapped back, and then he'd win on a battle of attrition. So he switches trainers. So you're thinking, wow, he's going to get a defensive-minded trainer. No, he brings in Morales, one of the most ultimate blood and guts warriors of all time, which was a little bit strange, at least from this journalist's perspective and a lot of people's others. But so far it's worked. It seems like he's getting better every fight incrementally. Now, whether he takes a step back or not, and whether Szeremeta is the type of fighter that can even show us how good he's gotten under Morales remains to be seen. But Munguia's happy. Morales is happy. He's still undefeated. And, you know, they think things are going on the right track.
Maybe this is the idea of, you know, with Eric Morales, you know, the very offensive fighter saying, okay, anyway, I'm not going to make this guy a Floyd Mayweather or a Shakur Stevenson. Let's utilize 100% what he can do offensively. I mean, he's trying to do something defensively, but when I spoke, coming back to Szeremeta for a while, when I spoke with my colleagues today, before I talked to you, I appreciate your time, first of all, Todd, really. I know you're busy, man. They said the number one thing that Szeremeta has to do is he cannot stand in one place. He has to be, you know, moving from left to right, back, forward, so never be in one place. He was trying to do it versus one of the best guys who closes the ring, which is Triple G. Do you agree with this assessment? The very mobile Szeremeta could provide some problems for Jaime Munguia, who wants to, you know, kill him, basically.
Yes. Any mobile fighter. I mean, for the lack of a better example, this was the first one that came to mind. He's got to be Floyd Mayweather facing Logan Paul. You know what I mean? You got to get out of the way of Logan Paul, who's a big 190-pounder, because you're the boxer guy. Sorry for that example. I know a lot of people hated that fight. But that's how it's got to look. When Munguia's coming in on him, he's got to slide to his right or he can't afford to get cornered. He can't afford to exchange with this hard-hitting Mexican.
We are talking about Triple G, just finishing this part, because there's another very, very good fight, which I want to ask you about it, which can go both ways. I don't think so it goes past 6 rounds. I don't think so this fight goes past 6 rounds. This is my opinion. I would love to be wrong, being a Szeremeta countryman. But when we're talking about fighters and Jaime Munguia here, is there a pressure from DAZN to make the Jaime Munguia versus Triple G fight? There's a reason why, you know, I'm wearing this shirt. This fight makes all the sense in the world to do it. Is it doable?
But you know this better than me. You've been doing this one longer than me. If it makes too much sense, then it doesn't make sense in boxing, right? It makes too much sense.
The paradox.
And it also, as we say in America, it takes 2 to tango. So Triple G has not voiced much support for this fight, which I think is perfect for him, because his style and the way he hits, at least if he is as good as he was a couple years ago, he may be over the hill now. We don't know yet, but that's a pretty easy stylistic fight for Triple G. An opponent that's going to be right there, bad defensively, not very accurate, a brawler. I mean, he eats those guys for lunch. So I don't know what his hesitancy is about taking this fight. Maybe he just doesn't want to be that active, or maybe he doesn't think Jaime Munguia is a big enough star yet. I don't know. But if Munguia can make a statement tomorrow night right here in El Paso, Texas, maybe the ears perk up on Triple G. He has this fight maybe sometime late summer or early fall, and then the rumors are that he's going to fight Murata in Japan
December
on the 31st.
Yeah, it's what I am hoping for, because I agree 100% with your assessment of Munguia versus Triple G. It's even for 39-year-old Triple G. It's hard to believe, but this is what he is, 39. I think so. It
makes a lot
tailor
of
made.
sense. It makes a lot of sense for Munguia too, because everyone's waiting for him to fail. Let's be honest. Everyone's like, wait, he really hasn't beaten that elite guy. After the Hogan fight, people are like, wait a minute, he hasn't deserved to be a champion. He moved up a weight class and everything, but still everyone's waiting for him to fail. And we're waiting for that one guy. So why not fail spectacularly against a Triple G rather than failing against someone like a Szeremeta? You know what I mean? So
yeah,
some people think he's just buying time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But hey, and plus, if you're Munguia, you think, wait a minute, he's as big a star worldwide almost as Canelo. He's way past his prime. He's not as good as he was, and I think I can knock him out. So it makes perfect sense for Munguia too, because he's got that another guy like a Triple G who you're waiting to see fail because he's past his prime. What if everyone says if Triple G fights Canelo again, almost everyone's picking Canelo by KO, right? They're like, he's going to knock him out. Triple G's done. So if you're Munguia, you're smelling blood in the water too.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to remember. I mean, you do and I do. When actually Triple G wanted Munguia, it was a couple of years back. Remember this whole thing? Then looks like this fight was almost made. And as far as I remember, Las Vegas commission said no, Munguia is not ready to do it.
Right.
So we know even years back, and he's just 24. Munguia thought he can beat Triple G. So now I'm sure it's the same.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Question about the second fight, which doesn't go to the scorer's card. I will be shocked if it goes to the scorer's card. Bek, how everyone is calling him. So I'm going to call him Bek versus Gabe Rosado in 6-rounder. I know it's not the 6-rounder, but for me, is it 6-rounder? Is it 6-rounder?
Well, here's what it feels. When Gabe Rosado has spoken before fights recently, he likes to talk about how good of a boxer he's become and how he's not a brawler. And, hey, my face is clean. I don't get cut. But in the press conference just yesterday, he said, I got a lot of criticism for my last fight, even though I thought I put on a boxing clinic. I got a lot of criticism. People weren't happy. And I think it's time for me to show that I can stand in there and start putting some guys away. With that mentality, it ain't going past 6 rounds because Bek is the bully. But we've seen Rosado. I mean, he can go. I mean, he's a great step-up fight for Bektimir Belakuziev.
This is fantastic step-up fight because if you look their rankings, after the Jacobs fight, Gabe Rosado was, man, this guy is still for real. This guy is still relevant. So he's ranked. I'm not saying about the rating organization, but in the big scheme of things, he's probably bigger. Not probably, for sure, it's a bigger name than Bek Bully is. But for Bek Bully, this is fantastic fight.
You know how it is. Boxing is all about, it's entertainment, but it's also about name recognition. If there's 2 guys, if you turn on the television and it's 2 random dudes you've never heard of, you're like, I mean, me and you watch it, love the sport. But if you're like, hey, Gabe Rosado, the guy from the Rocky movies, oh, the guy who's always a blood and guts warrior, oh, he's taking on this young destroyer from Uzbekistan. It's a cool story, and it gets you excited. So even if, hypothetically speaking, Bektimir was fighting someone who's better than Rosado, who has a more impressive record, who's more powerful, who's younger, it still won't resonate the way Gabe Rosado's name will resonate if you beat him.
This is one of those fights. I like the card. I mean, it was with so much commotion, with changes, postponing the dates and everything. My expectations were, let's say subdued. But now I like the card as it is. I mean, I see maybe not 3 KOs. Ladies do not KOs themselves too
Right.
often. But you know, to make
The Blair
to,
Cobb fight right out of the gate against Brad Solomon. That's if you followed these fights. I know a lot of
yeah.
times if people just jump in on a card and don't know anything about their background, it may not be that aesthetically pleasing. But Blair Cobb, man, do you guys watch WWE in Poland? Do they know what that is? Hulk Hogan and The Rock and all those guys.
I don't think so. People in Poland watch WWE. Maybe the older generation who knew, you know, some VHS tapes, some Hulk mania. Maybe yes, but
Yeah.
please
Well,
continue with the comparison.
well, Blair Cobb based his little fighting persona on this professional wrestler named Ric Flair, who always would go, woo, every time he'd do something. In America, he's a huge celebrity and people love him. So Blair Cobb has kind of gotten that professional wrestler circus act kind of performance where he does that at the press conferences. And he's pretty funny and pretty entertaining if you're into it. And he's a great personality. He's a lot of fun to cover. He's got a great look, but does he have the goods? He's taken a step-up fight against this guy, Brad Solomon, who's fought some top-tier guys. And both of them have to have an impressive performance. So I think that fight could be under the radar. And like you said, be a knockout and steal the show.
Absolutely. Todd Grisham, Todd, have it fun doing what you're doing. And then anyone who didn't knew who Todd Grisham is, I don't think so it's possible, but let's assume there's 7 people in the world who didn't know. This is the man who loves what he does. And it shows. So this is why watching and actually hearing you doing fights, it's a great thing, because you know it's not just okay. This guy just goes to job and it just does his job. Enjoy El Paso, enjoy the great fights, and have fun doing what you're doing.
Oh, hey, I love it. By the way, I know it looks like I'm wearing maybe a hospital gown, but this is actually a shirt, palm trees on it. I know I'm a little crazy, but I'm not in an insane asylum right now. Just wanted to let you know that.
Okay, I have to, I don't know. We are on the Skype, so you can be anywhere right now, and you're telling me, you know, some other stuff. But no, he's fine. He's in El Paso. He's gonna be behind the mic tomorrow.
No, you look. I'll show you the beautiful scene right up my window. There's Mexico right across the way. Look at that. Can you see?
I can tell.
So yeah, there you go. Hopefully I don't get arrested tonight, and I'm able to call the fights on Saturday.
Absolutely. No, I don't think so. I mean, you're gonna be fine. You have a experience of not getting arrested in a critical situation. So,
and I know you were gonna have. We were gonna do tequila shots if you came to El Paso. So I'm holding you to that next time I see you.
Yeah. Unfortunately, didn't work this way. I'm sure you're aware, but there is something called European Championship in soccer, which basically divorces everything in Europe.
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. Nobody knows about anything except Euro 2020 being played in 2021. But this is normal. So there was a decision. Actually, on the end, tomorrow, Poland versus Spain, one of the best teams in the world, Spain. For all the marbles for Poland, they have to win it. And just an hour later, people are gonna switch to Todd Grisham and listen. Hopefully, Poland is gonna beat the Spain. But if Poland beats the Spain and Munguia-Szeremeta beats Jaime Munguia, if you put $1,000 on those 2 results, man, you can buy the Mexican restaurants in El Paso. I can tell you that.
Well, hey, you put that money down and let me know how it turns out for you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Great chatting with you, Pete. Okay.
Thank you very much.